Today, Donald Trump did something so inappropriate, so ridiculous, and he did it at a fallen soldier's gravesite. It has the internet buzzing, and I have it for you next. Donald Trump is always trying to connect himself to militaristic and patriotic themes as a social signal to the mega base, but the former commander-in-chief often suffers from a cognitive dereliction of duty, and today was no exception. But what's unique about today's dishonor is the draft dodger didn't just shoot himself in those bone-spurred feet. He was inappropriate with the survivors of a soldier at Arlington National Cemetery, of all places. And his impulsive oddness and disrespect generated headlines like, Trump's pandering to vets goes wrong, Trump desecrates Arlington National Cemetery, and this is a broken man. So what was Trump's inappropriate action at the gravesite of a fallen Marine Corps sergeant? An act so egregious that it may have violated the rules of Arlington National Cemetery? I will have that for you in just a minute, but first let's research his previous most egregious and inappropriate act from the Nationalist, and that will be followed by a scathing video rebuttal directed at Trump, produced by VoteVets.org, an organization that bills itself as the home for progressive veterans, military families, and their civilian supporters.
At the time, it seemed odd. The President of the United States skipping a ceremony to honor Americans killed in the First World War, blaming the weather, even though other officials made it. The Atlantic magazine reports that on that specific visit, Donald Trump told staff, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." Later, he called 1,800 Americans who died in the legendary Battle of Belleau Wood suckers for getting killed.
My stepson was not a loser.
My son is not a loser.
My son, Matthew, is not a loser.
My stepson was not a sucker. Lance Corporal Alexander Scott Arredondo died in Najaf, Iraq in 2004.
My son, Sergeant James Anthony Ayub II, gave his life in Kandahar, Afghanistan in 2010.
Mi hijo, Jesús Alberto Suárez del Solar, y murió en la guerra de Irak.
Honorably serving his country.
That is something Donald Trump will never know.
That's something that Donald Trump will never understand.
My message to Donald Trump is this: you have no right being the commander-in-chief.
Usted no conoce lo que es el sacrificio.
So what did Trump do that was described as pandering and desecration? Republicans Against Trump described it this way in a post on X: "Smiling thumbs up over the graves of soldiers is beyond disgusting." And Meacham held nothing back in his take: "Sociopaths have an inability to empathize or show genuine sympathy. This explains Trump giving a thumbs up at the grave of a dead Marine." And Mark Hamill wrote, "Nothing to see here, just the tone-deaf draft dodger gleefully giving a thumbs up at the graves of those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. Hashtag weird and sad." Not only were Trump's actions inappropriate by conventional societal standards, it is actually described as inappropriate in the rules of Arlington National Cemetery if you consider every photo op he does to be of campaign value. The Daily Cause posted the rules, and they say, partisan activities are inappropriate in Arlington National Cemetery due to its role as a shrine to all honored dead of the armed forces of the United States and out of respect for the men and women buried there and for their families. Of course, it can be argued if everything Trump does between now and Election Day should be considered partisan activity, but it cannot be argued that Trump, by every measure, is an inappropriate human. In fact, this is not the first time he defaulted to his mindless thumb up. Just a couple of years ago, he created outrage with his offensive digit in what The Guardian described as anger, as grinning Trump gives thumb up while Melania holds El Paso orphan. The article said, "A backlash is building over a picture posted by Melania Trump on Twitter that showed her and Donald Trump smiling broadly while holding a baby who was orphaned in the mass shooting in El Paso." Most days I say, let Trump be Trump. Every time he's inappropriate, racist, misogynist, or just cringe, we are one step closer to putting MAGA in our rearview mirror. But today I say, what a colossal missed opportunity for him to be a good former commander-in-chief and even a better human while on the hallowed grounds of Arlington National Cemetery.